Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Thanks for Not Dying. This episode, we're going to kind of talk about a few things. This is going to be all about mental health, suicide, self-well-being. So, just to recap, I had 2 suicide attempts in the past. And right now, it's really hard to share my story, but I think it's going to help others realize that they're not alone. So, that's what we're doing.
It's going to help you heal too.
And it's going to help me heal too. This is kind of therapy for me, kind of talking about it and sharing it with others. So we're going to, the last episode we talked about, Taylor shared her story about what happened with Fitz, her son in labor. He's a 1-year-old grandson. And how she had kind of a rough afterbirth and her struggles with that and the trauma behind it and what maybe that could have caused my depression and triggered me to go into a little bit of a bad depression spiral. So today we're going to talk about that. Well, not that. We already talked about that.
We can talk about it again if you really want.
Yeah, we can. We're going to talk about my first attempt at suicide in that dark day and what happened before and what happened after. So that's what we're going to talk about.
So we're going to go ahead and ask you a few questions, like an interview type thing. And I know this is rough, so just take it. It's hard. It is. It's hard.
It's rough.
Reliving it.
It's rough.
But it's been a hard year.
Yes.
So take a deep breath. You got this. So.
Got it.
So my first question is, can you just sort of take us back in your own words of to what life felt like leading up to that moment of your attempt?
Well, life up to that, I guess I was feeling, I have a very beautiful life. I have a wonderful life. My husband, Mike, it's just him and I living at home, and we have 3 grandsons together. So it was just a normal life. I was very happy and everything else, but then my depression kind of kicked in. I don't even know for how long before my first attempt that I actually felt bad. I think it was probably right around August, September, pretty much right after Fitz's came into our lives. So, and then I started feeling just pain all over. I was feeling very scared all the time. I was scared to talk to people. I was scared to even go to the grocery store. I would kind of circle the parking lot and try to get myself to go in. And it was just very scary. Yeah. It was just
go in the store and I'd be like, what's going on? And it was,
I remember you dropped Kylie and I off in August downtown Port Clinton, and you were supposed to pick up a pizza for you and Mike after, and you called Mike and you were like, I can't go in the store. I can't go get the pizza.
Yeah.
And that was in August.
I was going to ask you that. So it was pretty close to right after Fitz was born in July. So,
yeah.
And at the time, I didn't really, when you feel like that, or when I felt like that, I didn't really realize that it was depression at the time. I just thought it was a feeling that's going to go away.
Like just that specific day.
Just that specific day, that moment. And I'm thinking the next day I'll wake up, I'll be fine. But it kind of just kept getting worse and worse and not going away, that feeling. And it was every day, 24/7. It really was all the time. And then leading up to that day, I don't know if we want to go right into it. The day before my suicide attempt, or do you want to have another question?
No, go for it.
The day before my suicide attempt, I remember me and you and Nate, your husband, Jen, and your boyfriend Craig, and me and Mike and Fitz, we all went out to dinner and got sushi. It was a fun night. It was a really fun night. And I guess we went back to my house afterwards and watched comedians on TV. Yeah.
Comedy.
Watched some comedy.
Stand-up comedy.
Had some wine. I think we had some wine and stuff. And I guess it was a fun night. I really don't remember that part of it, but I remember sitting in the sushi area and having sushi with you guys, and it was fun.
You did have fun.
Yeah.
You did have
because you would always say, nope, didn't have fun. I was faking it. Like later down the line when we would ask you, you'd say, no, I didn't have fun. So did you have fun or did you not have fun?
I did have fun, but I still felt awful all at the same time.
So you were faking.
Yeah. So, I was faking it. I was
like, maybe you knew like this is something that you would typically enjoy. Like it normally is fun.
Right. And I was
but right now it's not fun. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like the normal fun that I used to have. Like it was more of a forced fake fun, just so you guys could have fun. So you guys didn't have to worry about me all the time. That was the thing. Yeah.
I remember.
We're still worried about you.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
We have PTSD a little bit.
I'm sure you will.
A lot.
But I do remember that night too, because I remember, oh my gosh, it was almost like a relief because that was the first time we really saw you laughing and we thought you were having fun. And that was the confusing part later. Like, we were like, I even posted a Facebook post the morning of your attempt. And it was all of us, having fun.
I remember
at the sushi
seeing that.
place.
Yeah.
And it was probably within an hour after I posted that. That's when I got the phone call.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, it was just scary. So the signs weren't really there. But looking back, they kind of were. That's the sad part. You don't know until it's almost too late sometimes.
So you remember going to sushi. You don't remember watching TV and
No,
stuff. What else?
I don't remember that.
What else about that?
Um,
Day before, day of.
The day before, day of. The day of, that next morning, Taylor and they spent the night, and Jen just lives right down the road. I know I woke up that morning and I was feeling very, very panicked, and everybody was still sleeping. I was the very first one up. And I remember getting up, and I usually turn the TV on and have that on first thing in the morning. And I usually look at my social media, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't do that this morning. I do remember I wrote a suicide note, and I put it on my notes on my phone. I do remember that very clearly, doing that, but it was just the weirdest thing. I never thought I would say this because it's just crazy to me that actually happened. So I remember doing that. I decided I was done. I was done feeling that way. I was done having people feel sorry for me and worrying about me. And I just felt like a burden to everybody. So I remember writing the suicide note. And then I remember Taylor walking down the stairs and I'm sitting on the chair. And I put my phone down real quick and just like, good morning, Terry. How are you? Did you sleep well? What? Nothing. Oh, they're saying, no, you didn't.
Oh, no. Just like, it's unreal.
Just reliving that day.
Really, so.
Because you even
crazy.
talked about how normally, you're watching TV, you're sitting down there on your phone, drinking your coffee. And that's still one thing that like kills me looking back is like, I did walk downstairs and I saw you not watching TV. And I still just wish like that day I would have asked you.
I know, but you didn't know.
Why aren't you watching
Nobody
TV?
knew.
There's a lot of things for me. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so strange that
It's just like, I think that's one of the scariest parts is you always look back and think, what if? You know what I mean? But I think for you, there was nothing that we could have done. I don't think.
There
right?
absolutely was not anything.
I think like Jen and I, and I'm sure Mike too, beat ourselves up like, oh, well, what if I would have asked her this question at this moment? Or, like that, that day you said you weren't watching TV and that did stand out to me. And I don't know why. Normally I would say, what the hell why aren't you watching TV?
Yeah, I bet you were.
And I didn't. And I don't know why. And I just think it just makes me so sad. Looking back, if I would have asked you, would you have even told me?
No.
What you were doing?
No.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't know. No. I think in my head it was so surreal. Like I was writing this note, but was I really going to follow through with it? Like I didn't even know at the time what I was thinking. I just almost felt like we wanted to just write things down just to get it out. But I didn't know for sure that I was going to actually do that. Commit suicide. It's so hard to say. Attempt to suicide. Yeah, that's true. So then after Taylor got up and everything, I made a big breakfast. I remember I went in there and
chocolate chip pancakes.
Pancakes.
Took me a long time to eat that again.
Oh,
a long time.
That's true. I never thought about that. It's very true. So,
there you are again,
yeah,
taking care of people, even when you're feeling the worst you've ever felt.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did that, and then Taylor and Nate, I think you left pretty much right after breakfast, didn't you? And Fitz went home.
Yeah, because that's when I started tracking you guys.
It was 9 o'clock in the morning that we left.
Yeah, it was 9 a.m.
Okay.
And then I kind of, we track each other.
On like Find My iPhone.
iPhone. So, of course, we're constantly worried. We were even worried before her attempt, just because of her depression and anxiety that she was having.
Right.
So I started tracking her phone, and I saw that Kay had left, and then I saw later.
Well, no, you tried to call her.
I tried to call her. Yeah, I tried to call Ro, which we call her Ro. If you get me calling her Ro, it's Robin.
Yeah,
just to clear that up. But so I called her.
You tried to call her when we had just left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right when Tay and Nate had left, I called Ro, and then she didn't answer. And actually it disconnected. It was like she answered,
Mhm.
but then again, she especially has horrible phone service where she lives. So
Mhm.
it wasn't really uncommon that we got disconnected, but I ended up calling again and then it went to her voicemail. So then I knew.
Then you texted her, remember?
Yeah. And then
And she read it.
texted her and it came up as red. And that's when I called Tag. Did I call you or did I text you?
She read it and never texted you back. And then I think you waited maybe 10 minutes like that. And you called me. And we were about 15 minutes from leaving her house at that point. And you're like, is your mom okay? And I'm like, well,
I was
that's a
how
loaded
was she
question.
this morning? Yeah, I was like, how was your mom this morning? She was like, well, she made me, she was sitting there, but it was weird because she didn't have the TV on, like you had said.
So you did say that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she didn't have the TV on, so it was really quiet in her. She was just kind of on her iPad. But she got up and made us a big breakfast and
Said she wanted to go to the store because you wanted to make meatloaf.
yes,
that night,
which was a lot because we were supposed to, me and you were supposed to go to Fremont that day to go get hair color and we call it our hair mix. There we go.
Not real blonde.
But yeah, so I remember I was like, God, it's weird. Then I started tracking you and I saw that you were heading towards Fremont on 19. And I'm like, what is she doing? And we were supposed to go together to go run some errands and things like that. And I'm like, this is so weird. But I'm like thinking, okay, she was so good last night. So maybe I'm overthinking and whatever. Because we had a great night. Like, it was just like, and I was even telling Craig that. I mean, it was such a good night. She seemed amazing, but he was still at my house. And then he had left. And then that's when, do you want to?
I was going to say, why don't we say what was going through her head
Okay.
on that morning?
On that morning.
So yeah, I was already kind of panicking, but I wasn't quite panicking yet. I was just kind of like trying.
It was just a little weird.
It was just a little odd that you kind of left because we were supposed to go shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
So on Jen and I's point of view, I'm driving home, Jen's tracking you, and you're in Fremont, and we're not exactly sure what you're doing.
Okay.
So from your point of view, after you made us breakfast and we left, what was your thoughts?
Okay. So after that, I was still contemplating the note and if I was going to even kind of, attempt it.
There you go.
Not used to holding a microphone. So I did the dishes, cleaned up for breakfast, wanted to make sure everything looked normal because Mike was right there too, and he was helping. So then it was pretty much right away. I decided to tell Mike, hey, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get stuff for meatloaf. And he never, questioned it or anything. That was very normal if I go to the store or whatever. So I remember this was probably about 9:30. It was really quickly after Tay had left. So, but I remember, and this is hard to say out loud because this is not me at all. I mean, this whole thing is not me. I just remember kind of going to where our liquor is in our liquor cabinet and I grabbed a bottle of tequila and walked out the door with it. I knew that was a plan in my head. I wanted to drink that. And I also had Xanax.
That you were prescribed.
That I was prescribed.
For your depression and anxiety.
Depression and anxiety. And I took the bottle of that with me as well. And my plan in my head was I was going to drive down the road and pull over somewhere and, do what had to be done. But luckily, I guess I didn't do that. I actually ended up getting pulled over. I'm not even sure why. I guess I was swerving.
You were at a 4-way intersection in downtown Fremont, and you were going to take a left turn, but you were essentially in the middle of all the lights.
Okay.
And you were also swerving a lot. People had called it in, but there happened to be a cop, I guess, nearby, and so people were actually waving the cop down, and then you got pulled over. Yes.
Gotcha. So it was actually, thank God, somebody called you.
Yeah.
Thank God. And thank God you did not hurt anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. That wasn't me at all. That's not what I ever do. And then I guess from there, I don't remember anything else. I guess I was taken to the police station.
No. Because, do you want to pick up with your phone call?
Yeah. So, after she had left to go to Fremont, which is probably about 25 minutes from where we live. And so it was about 10:30 in the morning. I received a phone call, which all it said was Fremont, Ohio.
And this is after you had called me, about 15 minutes after you called me, thinking what's your mom doing? And when we were on the phone, you were tracking her, and you're like, oh, now she's in a Goodwill parking lot.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the heck is she doing?
And I remember I had gone through all of my closets just the week before, and she wanted to go through them before I sent them to Goodwill.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe that makes sense. Maybe she's at Goodwill dropping off those clothes. So, you're trying to make sense of everything to make it make sense. You're like, make this make sense. Like, what the heck? So then about 10:30 in the morning, I had received a phone call, and I'm like, who the heck is Fremont? But then I remembered she's in Fremont. So I'm thinking maybe her phone broke or something, and she's at a payphone or somewhere trying to call me. So, of course, I answered the phone, and it was a police officer saying, we have your sister under arrest for drinking and driving. And I'm like, what? I was like, are you sure? Like, that is
so shocking and so confusing.
Well, yeah, for one, she doesn't drink and drive. And two, especially she doesn't drink at 9:30, 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and we had thought, oh my gosh, does she still have alcohol in her system from last night? We had like 2 glasses of wine.
But then the police officer said, I kind of said that. I'm like, well, we were drinking last night. Are you sure she's just not like still maybe tipsy from the night before? And he was like, no, she's got a bottle of, she's an open container.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking, what? And then I'm like, okay, thinking White Claw or something simple. But
that's not like me.
No, you would still never even have that.
No,
on a normal day ever in the car.
Still trying to make sense of this
right.
conversation. Yeah. And he had said, you need to come pick her up. We're going to let her go or whatever. I forget the exact words, but I was like, okay.
And at that point, he did say, we're taking her to the police station. You can pick her up there.
Yes. So at the police station. So I called Mike immediately, her husband.
No, you called me.
I called you.
You called me because Nate and I were in the car, and me and you were just freaking the hell out on the phone. I'm like, what? So I have Nate call Mike. You're on the speakerphone in my car. Nate's talking to Mike. We're all kind of on speakerphone talking together. And I'm like, Mike, my mom got arrested. And he's like, what? And me and you are freaking out. And I'm like, go to Jen's, please go to Jen's. And I'm trying to race home. And then Mike comes to your house. And then that's when they call you back.
Well, it was right before Mike got there.
Okay.
So it was only maybe 10 minutes. If that. And I got another call from the Fremont number. And I answered it. And it was the police officer saying, okay, change of plans. Your sister is not doing well at all. She can barely stand up. She's slurring her words, and she keeps saying, I want to die. I want to die. I just want to die. And I'm like, that's when I seriously really freaked the fuck out. I was like, what the hell? And then pretty soon, right when I hung up, Mike pulled in the driveway and he comes in the house, and I'm like, Mike, you need to call back this number. I literally could not even think straight whatsoever.
And I didn't know any of this still yet.
You did not. And I was like, literally I was shaking so fucking bad. And then Mike comes in and I'm like, you need to call this number back. I don't know. Maybe I just felt like I was going crazy. Like I did not understand what the hell he had just said. So Mike, I was literally shaking. I'm holding the phone. Like,
panic attack.
Take my phone. I'm like, I could hardly even freaking get the words out. Take my phone. And so he finally called the number back, and he's asking more logical questions because of what
Mike
was, yes. He was like saying, okay, what was she drinking? And then that's when the bottle of tequila came into play. And then we all just started with like, what the fuck? A bottle of tequila? Like,
we don't even drink tequila.
Oh, no. We're like, what the hell?
And then that's when they told Mike, we're not taking her to the police station. We have to take her to the hospital, right?
She was pretty much like out of it.
And they still did not know anything about the Xanax at this point, right?
No.
We're all still just thinking she drank tequila. Yeah.
Yep. So then do you want me to continue with driving?
Because I don't think you remember anything now, right?
I don't remember anything now.
So,
no. So yeah.
Go ahead.
So then Mike decides to drive separately. So I'm following Mike. And then I get another call. Do you remember the name of the back into the cop car? I just said it.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting another phone call on our way to Fremont. I'm following Mike. The police officer called and said, make sure Mike her husband brings insurance information, because when they pulled her over, she accidentally messed up a button thing for her shifting. When she went to pull over, she has like
park, reverse, neutral drive, like buttons
to push. So she must have pushed reverse, and that one to the car hit it. And then that's when Mike said, hey, you have our insurance information. Totally freaking the fuck out. Like, what in the hell is going on right now? It was just awful.
Sure.
Then I had to call, I called Abby, which is my oldest son's girlfriend, to make sure she knew what kind of was going on. And just all hell broke loose for me. So then we get to the hospital, And I remember,
I also at this point still think that she's going to the police station.
Yeah.
So Nate and I are rushing home, and his parents are going to come and help with Fitz, and we're going to meet you guys at the police station. So that's still what I think for now.
when did I get a
Well, we were on the way. We had just gotten to Fostoria. I know exactly where we were driving, and you couldn't even tell me because I called you, and I was like, "Hey, okay, where am I going? What police station?" And you were like, "I can't like tell her." And I'm like, "Somebody
Okay,
tell
so
me
no, wait,
what's going
wait,
on."
This is after. So I was already at the hospital. So I got to the hospital. It was me and Mike. We walk in there. I'm still pissed. Like I'm just like
We're
pissed off
angry.
that, bro. I'm so mad at her. Like thinking, what the hell is she doing? Drinking and driving. You know, I'm just in that kind of a mood. Like I'm just ready to go in there and yell at her. Not expecting to walk in to see what I saw. So when I walk in there, and it was just a weird vibe. Like you could almost feel the nurses all staring at us. Like they knew what we were walking into, but we did not know
Yeah.
what was going on. So we get in there, and Rose laying there. I'm crying, just not but she was just laying there. Couldn't even talk. And then me and Mike are just standing there staring at her like, what the hell is going on? And then I remember the doctor. She was a lady doctor. She walked in behind us and said, we didn't really think she would even make it. And we're like, what? And then she said, she's very, we can't get words to come out of her mouth. We can't get her to talk. You need to ask her if she took something else besides alcohol. And I'm like, pretty much thinking, what in the hell is she talking about? No, of course she didn't. You know, me in my mind, I think there's no way in hell she would do something like that ever.
She's told us so many times, I would never do anything
I
like
always
that.
thought
I
that
would
was
never do that
never.
to you
I
guys.
always say that's so selfish.
Mhm.
So selfish.
Mhm.
You just
So-
never know.
So then that's when Mike said something about, well, look, he was asking you, and we were like, he was bending over, going, shaking me, going, Robin, tell us, did you take something besides alcohol? And then that's when you started slurring your words, and you could not even hardly get out the words. It's like you were just slurring your words. And then that's when I was just kind of like stood back, like, what in the hell? Are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it's starting to, like, the series of events to kind of realize that you attempted suicide is just fucking crazy. So then somehow I wanted to get a hold of your medication list that you had in your phone. So I opened up your phone, and Mike's still talking to you. I'm opening up your phone right when I open it. Sorry. So right when I open it, a suicide note pops up. And then that's when I like seriously started reading it. Like I don't even think I read the whole fucking thing. Like I couldn't get myself. I'm like I bent over and I couldn't breathe. I'm like just standing there like holding my stomach. And then Mike's looking at me. He's like, "What?" I go, "There's a suicide note," and I'm like shaking just thinking about it. And then Mike was like, "What the hell? Are you fucking kidding me?" Like he was just like it was just like the guts that punched his stomach like completely. And then that's when I was like, I go, "Oh my God, Tay's on her way. We need to call her." And then that's when you called me. And then
And I'm like, okay, guys, where am I going?
and
Like,
I was like, I couldn't.
Jen
talk.
couldn't, and I just knew.
Well, then the doctor had told me too. I said, her daughter's on her way here. And she was like, well, no, she cannot see her like this. We don't want her daughter to show. She's probably thinking you're like 10.
Yeah.
But,
And you do look
I'm
very
so
young.
but then the doctor was just like, we just tell her that we can only accept 2 visitors at a time in the room with you. So I was like, okay, you know, I can do this. Whatever. I couldn't fucking do it. I could not lie to you.
No.
So I was just like, Mike, I can't do it. Take, and he just grabbed the phone.
And Nate's driving, and I'm like, what's going on? Jen's like, can't like tell her. And like, I'm just like, somebody tell me what the hell is going on. And Mike, because you said you can't come here. And I'm like, I can't come where? And Mike's like, well, we're at the hospital. And Mike, you know, was tearing up, starting to cry. And I'm like, I'm thinking that she died. And Mike's like, we think she tried to kill herself. And I'm like, what? Because like you said, you're so pissed at first because you just think she's drinking and driving. And I'm so mad. I was seriously ready to come in there and like go off on
Same.
you. Like, what the hell were you thinking? And then you get that call and you're like, oh my God. Like, it's just so shocking to not understand how much you were struggling in that moment. And then to realize that that's what you thought was the best option for yourself is just so gut wrenching. And when Mike told me that, I remember everything. It was raining. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I remember what road we were on. Nate was about to turn, and I was like, you have to pull over. Like, I was going to throw up. It was downpouring. The car was still kind of moving. We're on this busy road in Fostoria, and I just jump out of the car on the sidewalk, and I'm just dry heaving. And Nate gets out, and all these cars are driving past, and I'm just having a full-blown panic attack. Because then also, they didn't really know what condition she was in. They're thinking still that, like, you know, she's not doing very well at all. And then it felt like the world's longest drive ever to get there, like ever. And I'm running in there, and it seriously feels like a movie.
Oh,
and I can't find you guys, and it's like kind of like a lockdown, and I'm just yelling for you guys, like, Jen, Mike, Mom, like, where's everyone at? And it slow motion, felt like time was going so slow, but so fast. And the unknown, it was just the scariest thing I think I've probably ever experienced in my life.
We were trying to keep you awake. Remember, just us shaking her every once in a while.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
And then you could only have 2 people back there at a time, so then we'd have to keep taking turns. Jen and Mike would be there, and then one of them would switch out, and I would come in, and then Nate would come in, and we would all take turns coming back there to see you.
Because we got there about, what, 11 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
And how long was I in the hospital?
Do you want to go into the next part?
Yeah, we'll go into the next part. So like I said, Kay, Mike, we kept trying to talk to her. Her breathing was very, very shallow. And then the nurses would have to come in, just check on you because we were like, no, is she breathing? But then we asked them to pump your stomach. We're like, can you just pump her stomach? Well, the Xanax thing came too.
Mm-hmm.
So then they had found that a bottle of Xanax.
The cops did.
The cops did
In your car.
So it was completely empty. So then we asked them if they could pump your stomach. And that's a thing they don't do anymore. We didn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it could cause you to throw up, I guess. Choke on your own vomit.
Asphyxiate.
Yeah, asphyxiate.
Yeah, choke on your body. I'm like,
so we were kind of pissed about that. We're like, what the hell? Get it out of her system. Like,
right.
Oh my God, we're just going to let her sit there and like soak all this poison into her body. And then, so we did. We pretty much had to sit there and watch it go through your body. And as the time went, it was around 4 p.m. We all sat there till around 4. Mike and Tay, Nate, we were all there.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're like, well, there's nothing really you guys can do. And I'm like, all right, well, Nate, you know, the date that's turned 4 months old, Nate and I are like, we got to go home. Like, if there's nothing we can do, I didn't want to leave, but I'm like, well, what else is there to do at this point?
Exactly. And then Mike was hungry because he hadn't eaten. So I said, okay, well, that's fine. You guys will go and I'll stay here with you. So, within maybe 15, 20 minutes, within 15 or 20 minutes after they had left, she just, I was just sitting there watching you, and pretty soon you just really weren't breathing at all. And like the nurses were coming in, they were rubbing your chest, like they were trying to keep you awake, and then pretty soon all hell just fucking broke loose. Like it felt like a movie. It really did. Like it was like the nurses were running and shaking you. They were lifting you up. They were trying to, I come up to the door and I start smacking your face, like, wake the fuck up. I just kept smacking you in the face. And it was terrifying. And I've never wished that on my worst fucking enemy because, they had a kicking me out of the room. The doctor came in and said that, I go, what the fuck is going on? I'm just like screaming. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? And they're all just looking at me. And the doctor turns around and they're all just still trying to get you to wake the fuck up. Like you were not even breathing anymore. And the doctor said she turned around. I will never forget it. She turned around. We're gonna have to put her on life support. You need to leave the room now. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I literally just I just stood there and there's people flying by me and it felt like a freaking ER movie or something. It was just people flying by me and I'm just standing there like I didn't even know where to go at that point. I'm just standing there by myself. And then I finally called, I think I called you first.
Me or Mike, I'm not
ran
sure.
outside and I called Tay and I was like, Tay. I'm like, I don't even know how panicked I was. Like, that was a blur, but.
I think it was quick. Like, you were just like, you need to come back here right now. Like, they're putting her on life support. That was pretty much it. And we flew back around. So
I remember it was just sad to remember your voice because I remember you answering it and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, you can just turn around right now And then I of course had to call Mike, and Mike was at Wendy's, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing, Jen?" And I'm like, he's like, "I'm just here at Wendy's getting a burger." And I'm like, "You need to get back here now."
Mhm.
They just had to throw in. They kicked me out. They're putting him on life support, and he was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not fucking kidding you." Like, I was just out there pacing, like, back and forth. I remember it was raining. It's just a hot freaking mess. Like, it was just, it's unreal, really, what we actually went through witnessing that. And
I can't imagine.
if you were going to make it out of that. And then I remember it was probably 20 minutes or so. And then I remember Mike got there. Me and Mike are standing in the parking lot in the rain, just talking, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And we were out by my car. And I remember one of the nurses running out and like waving at me and like going like this. And that was terrifying. Like me and Mike, I don't even know, like I did not want to walk in there. I didn't know if they were going to tell us that you were fucking dead or I had no idea. Even Mike turned around and he goes, "I don't even want to go in there." Like he was like taking 2 steps forward. Then he turned around and he was like, "I don't want to go in there." And I'm like, "I don't want to go in there either." I'm like, "You go." Like was so fucking scared that they were going to tell us that you didn't fucking make sense. And so we finally went in there and they brought us into a little room, like back in a corner. And that was even more terrifying because usually it's always bad news. But
yeah. And then I finally got there, came back, and I ran in there again, and I can't find it. And I'm screaming.
No, your fucking scream of just, "Jen!"
Yeah, I'm like, "Where are you?"
And I'm like, "Oh my God."
And everyone in there is staring at you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I wonder what they're going through, you know? And then I just see the workers go, "They're in the family room." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, they're in the family, like they're in the family consultation room." I'm like, "This is just not good." And I came in there all panicked. And you guys are like, "It's fine.
She's gonna
It's
be
fine.
okay.
It's
She's
fine."
going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then you collapse on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge. Yeah. So that's that. That's the little story of a first attempt. And then there's a lot more to go after that. But I don't know if we want to kind of take it from stop for this episode.
You want to like take a break and pick up from there?
Yeah.
The next episode?
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll go on it from there for sure. But yeah, I hadn't really heard all of that all at one time. So that was kind of surreal for sure. It does not seem real at all. And that wasn't, yeah, exactly. I think we all need a break, but now we know.
I guess just like a closing question, and maybe you don't even have an answer, but do you feel like leading up to your first attempt, were there any warning signs that maybe looking back at now you notice as warning signs for yourself?
About, you mean attempting suicide?
Yeah, like that you noticed that you didn't pay attention to in the moment, or signs that you think we missed?
I don't really think so. I never really thought about suicide up until I think that day, that morning up. It just never occurred to me. I was just in a lot of pain and all that, but I wouldn't think there was any type of warning signs. And I don't think, even if I knew I was probably going to attempt suicide, I wouldn't have told you.
That's what I was going to ask.
No.
If that morning, if I would have said, "Are you feeling suicidal?" do you think you ever would have told?
No,
Janice
because that just
asked?
seems surreal. It does not seem like that's something that I would ever do. Ever in a million years do that. But I think everything that you guys did was so helpful for me, although you couldn't help me because only person that could help me was myself. For doctors, for medications and all that. But going through the depression, it was just what I had to deal with. And kind of goes from there.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we'll just take care of your mental health, everybody. Just be there for others that are not feeling well, and just have to be there. You don't have to keep bugging them with questions after questions. Just just see how they're doing.
Be there to listen.
Yeah.
Be there to listen for sure. And support. And support. Yeah.
And don't say, "I remember you always would get so pissed at us."
I didn't. That is one thing I didn't like. If somebody would say, "I understand what you're feeling," then we would really don't.
And me and Tay really learned that. We're glad that you told us that because we're like, "Wow, you're right. You don't understand."
No, I don't. Yeah. Or I didn't. I mean, I still don't think we ever will understand exactly how you felt.
Not unless it's something you've been through.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Bo.
you very
You
much.
did it.
Thanks for
Yeah,
sharing
good
your
job,
story. You're
guys.
so
Yeah.
brave, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
And
thank you. I'm proud of you guys for being
So
here
proud of
and
you.
sharing that because that's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
and we're all healing together, one conversation
Yes,
at a time.
We are.
Mhm. Yeah, and we have a lot more to talk about. And you still have a whole other attempt to go through.
We do. We have
Whole
a lot
other
more.
attempt.
CT and a lot of other psych wards and
And just waking up to life
therapy.
support.
And, yeah, we have a lot of other stories, and
Yes.
we'll get through those. But hopefully, if anybody out there is listening that's struggling, they know it can get better.
There is hope. There's always hope. Yeah. I just, if you feel like you're going through the same as I am, or did right now, I'm feeling very, very good. But just know you're not alone. You're not alone. There are others out there too. You're not the only one in the world going through this. So, and you can get through it. Just be strong.
Well,
See
thank
you
you
guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for not dying.
Thank
You're
you.
not dying. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.